Peter Yarum.
Here.
Maurice LaRosa.
Here.
Mary Ann Turner here. Charlie Masterbirdy.
Here.
Andrew Obanowitz. Lynn Skull.
Here.
James Bailey Brislin. Bob Gillespie.
At this point, I would normally explain our fire evacuation process, but I think we all know it. So would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And then moving forward, at this point in the agenda, I would explain to the audience how we are going to conduct the business tonight, but there's no applications in front of us. So moving on, old business. Anyone? Anything?
Yes, at our last meeting, we talked about P.C. Richardson's son, and I know you weren't here, Ginny was here. There's still a banner up.
Right, but that's the right banner.
There's a different banner
Well,
up.
there's a different banner, it's been changed, I just want to know.
The banner they took down the day after our meeting.
Okay,
The mattress one.
Right. The banner that's now up is a holiday banner.
Okay.
Which they're allowed to
so I'm
have.
just looking to make sure that they have a permit, because they tend to put them up without permits.
I don't know for a fact, but I know that. Sorry, I don't know for a fact that they do have a permit for that one, but I know Ginny was checking that out after the meeting.
And also
Made an appointment.
Starbucks.
Yes, I know, you're talking about the photograph
Yes.
signs on the
The three
side.
signs on the side.
Yeah, we have issued a letter to them, and know that we're not the only community facing it. It must be something coming down from Seattle, because in talking to other planners in the state, they're also having their Starbucks throw up random photograph signs on the side, so it is something that's out there. They're not picking on Enfield in particular, but I believe Ginny did issue a letter on that.
Okay.
Any other old business?
I don't know if this would go here, but Ginny sent out this email, and you responded to it, regarding the Supreme Court cases on variance overruling Stillman. I have no idea what they're talking about. I was hoping Ginny was going to be here.
I haven't had a chance to review it. It's still sitting in my inbox, so I don't really know a whole lot more about it than what is written there.
Well, Sean, I think we need to have this reviewed and somebody tell us what it is they're trying to tell us.
Tell me the name of the case, Stillman?
I'll give you a copy of this.
Okay.
But Ginny sent it to us, and I'm not going to read it because I don't know what it's about. I don't know if it changes how we do business or if it's supposed to make us understand that we're doing it all right. But the bottom line is, if there's something we need to know, we need a town attorney's opinion, and he needs to educate us.
Certainly.
All right? That's him.
Any other old business? Moving on, any new business?
Mr. Deputy Lee is here for new business.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
Tonight I'm here on a social call. I have the honor and pleasure of helping to acknowledge your Chair's 18 years of service to the Commission. And I've brought with me this evening a proclamation issued by the Mayor and the Town Council. And if you'll indulge me, I'll read it and address it to Mr. Yarum.
Thank you.
So it is a proclamation honoring the service of Peter Yarum on Enfield Zoning Board of Appeals. Whereas Peter Yarum moved to Enfield with his wife in 1978 to raise their two daughters, and whereas Peter started his career in the building, in his family building business, eventually moving on to corporate building, and whereas Peter was asked by a neighbor whether he would be interested in sitting on the town's Zoning Board of Appeals, and whereas Peter welcomed the opportunity and became a board member in 1997, and whereas Peter's diligence, dedication, and training that he offered with an even hand and a fatherly direction has resulted in his being tapped as chairman of this board for going on 10 years. And whereas Peter's dedicated service is greatly appreciated from the members of the Enfield Town Council and the many businesses and residents who came before this board with projects that required a variance or a ruling. And whereas Peter will always have a place on the dais whereas Peter will always have a place at this dais while we wish him the best in his future endeavors as well. Now therefore I, Scott Copen, on behalf of the Enfield Town Council, the entire town administration, the members of the Zoning Board of Appeals, and the entire Enfield community, do hereby recognize Peter Yarum and his 18 years of service to the ZBA. We are extremely grateful for his hand in making the board such a success, which the town has benefited from because of his involvement. And it's signed today. It's by Scott Copen, December 28th.
Well,
So
thank you
Peter,
very
thank you
much.
very much for all that you've done. We all recognize that you have, I think diligence was the right word there, and certainly professionalism. And it's gone a long way to help make this board one where, predictability is the order of the day, and certainly with respect to all the various regulations that you help make sure are done judiciously. We thank you very much for all that you've done.
You're very welcome. It was my pleasure.
And the town also has a memento from your little grasshoppers in honor of your 18 years of service,
Thank you.
which I guess is a term of endearment from your fellow colleagues. I'll present this to you.
Well, I'm very touched.
Happy New Year and congratulations.
Thank you.
I'll sit and watch the rest of the festivities.
Well, just make a little comment here. I'm all touched up. I don't know if Charlie's aware. I know the other board members and town are aware, but I decided not to throw my hat in the ring for the next reappointment. I've watched this board. Actually, 4 years ago, I was not considering throwing my hat into the ring, and I was convinced by members of this board that they weren't ready at this point, and they still needed some guidance. So I went back in for another 4 years. And over those 4 years, I've seen this board grow. I've seen them become extremely educated, and I'm very proud of everything that they've done. As an example, although we've done our job right, and we've always felt we've done our job right, some of the applicants haven't thought we've done our job right, and they've ended up suing us. And when it comes down to the bottom line, the courts all agree with our decisions. We have not lost one case ever. And that goes to the knowledge and dedication that this board has. So on behalf of myself and my wife and my family, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, and it's been a pleasure to serve the town. Thank you.
You do realize, though, you do realize that we're not going to let you go that easily, so, you still have to come out and have coffee
I'm going to be
with us.
watching your meetings.
That's what
and
we're worried about.
you may get a text now and then.
But we can always put you back, you could always be an alternate,
This is true.
right?
If I get
So-
bored and
Well, I already talked to Kim, and she told me, boredom's a possibility, and I told her.
I know.
So,
Well, I've been, for the last week and a half, I've been staying home. Things are a little slow, and it's getting ready for the holidays, and I'm ready to shoot my brains out.
okay. Could you get the paperwork? Could somebody please get the paperwork?
He's ready for reappointment.
Right. We can get it, they have a meeting on January 4th, we can get you right in, right, baby? Okay. You do know that we don't want you to go.
I realize that, but you guys are ready.
It doesn't matter, we still
You
don't
got a
want you
good
to
guy
go.
here, ready to go.
We have a good functioning board with you, so we'd hate to lose you.
So,
Well, thank
Some
you.
of us still need a lot of education.
well, we're just so you know, we have your number.
Both of them.
Call anytime. All right, getting a little choked up here. Any other new business? Okay, in your packets, you have the minutes of the regular meeting, November 30th, 2015. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Made
Second.
by Mo, second by Mary Ann. Any discussion? Sensing none. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. Motion passes 5-0. Sean, staff report, correspondence?
I don't have anything today.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
through you to the staff. Sean, do you have an update on the village's court case?
Yeah, you can see it in your packet. The town attorney provided a small update.
And there's been nothing since then, this, to you?
Actually, I have something that I know of a little subsequent to this, but from what I understand, I think the Supreme Court has declined to hear it now. Having heard the arguments, they've actually issued we're not going to go forward with it. So it would revert to the appellate court decision, it seems. I'm sorry that we don't have that update in here. I don't know if we have an official statement from the town attorney yet regarding that
Well, the Supreme Court ruling was on the 21st, so.
first, yeah.
That,
Pretty recent.
in all fairness to the town attorney.
Yeah,
It was 4 days before Christmas, so.
right.
No update on CREC as well?
No update on CREC, except there was scheduled a meeting this week that's had to be postponed because a couple individuals couldn't make it. So we're looking to have that first week in January, maybe second week in January. And obviously, there's a new town attorney. We want to get him involved as soon as we can on that.
Will they be coming back to planning and zoning?
CREC? They'll be doing the full tour, wetlands. I think we'd like to get them in front of conservation also, as well as planning and zoning.
Okay.
And maybe even you guys at the
Now,
end of the day.
How do they go back through all of that before, because some of what they're going to come back for, I would assume, has to do with the property that's in court.
True.
So how does that work? You can't allow them to do something unless they're going to bring it into conformity, and then the court case is done, but...
Yeah, if they're given permission to do what was done, obviously the court case kind of ends. But if they're not giving permission to do that, and it's asking after the fact, I think in some of these, then obviously the court case continues. So it's a good question. I don't know exactly how it's going to play out.
Could you just be sure that we're aware of when they come in front of
Oh,
whatever?
yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
Because the cease and desist is still in place.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Sean, there was a memo that, I don't know if the entire board got it, but I received a memo from Roger O'Brien in regards to the church and the apartments they want to do.
Yeah, and I know I've talked to you, Peter, on the phone, and I think Mary Ann, when you stopped by the office. The applicant called with some concern that when this board met and agreed to give them the variances, that the paperwork that was filed wasn't exactly complete, and in my mind it wasn't. But the variances that were recorded with the land records are complete. They show all 5 of the variances that
Okay.
were needed and deemed. So Roger says that's perfectly fine. We don't have to bother dragging it all up in front of you again. So they should be good to go and seek their special permit in front of planning and zoning next.
Okay. Did everyone receive that memo? You can just pass that along. Okay, any other business?
Do you have any idea what this document from the town attorney's about? Process for legal review?
I think, from what I understand, if we're going to request information from the town attorney's office, or if we need them to review a document and give their interpretation on something, this is the process we should go through.
Oh, so they need us to have it in writing? So then I have to do what I just asked you, put it in writing? Okay, I'll take my document back.
I mean, if you like, we can take a look at this. If it's not that big a deal, I'll give you an answer straight away. If I think it
I'll
requires
just
town
put it in-
attorney, I'm more than happy to-
I'll put it in writing, just so you have the paper trail. Okay.
Do you want that back?
I got this. Put it on down to Lynn.
Any other business? Sensing none. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Made by Mo, seconded by Mary Ann. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes.
This is it.
We are adjourned.
Yep.
Congratulations.